The American political landscape is changing. One notable shift is the increasing use of profanity by Democratic politicians. This tactic, often employed for its perceived authenticity, has become a subject of debate. Critics argue that it's a calculated move, a cynical attempt to connect with voters by mirroring the language of popular culture. Take, for example, vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. His frequent use of the word damn has become a hallmark of his public persona. From policy debates to campaign rallies, the word seems to pepper his vocabulary with a consistency that some find jarring. Whether decrying the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade ruling or advocating for gun control, Walz doesn't shy away from strong language. Then there's Rep. Jasmine Crockett, whose fiery speech at a roundtable on Supreme Court ethics raised eyebrows. Her use of profanity, while perhaps shocking to some, reflects a broader trend among Democrats. It's a trend that raises questions about the evolving norms of political discourse. Is this a genuine attempt to connect with voters on a personal level, or is it a calculated strategy to appear relatable? The line between authenticity and contrivance can be blurry. While some voters may find this approach refreshing, others may see it as a desperate ploy for attention. The question remains, does the use of profanity ultimately help or hurt a candidate's chances of winning over the electorate? The effectiveness of using profanity as a political strategy is debatable. On the one hand, it can be seen as a way to cut through the noise and grab attention. In an era of soundbites and social media, a well-placed curse word can make a statement more memorable. It can also signal a break from the often perceived stuffiness and formality of traditional politics. Proponents of this approach argue that it allows politicians to connect with voters on a more visceral level. By using language that is more common in everyday conversations, they aim to project an image of being real and relatable. This is particularly true among younger voters, who are often turned off by what they see as the inauthenticity of traditional political rhetoric. However, there are also significant risks associated with this strategy. Profanity can be alienating to some voters, particularly older generations or those with more conservative values. It can also be seen as unprofessional and undignified, undermining a candidate's credibility. In the wrong context, a poorly timed curse word can overshadow a candidate's message and backfire spectacularly. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to use profanity is a strategic one. Politicians must weigh the potential benefits against the risks, taking into account their target audience and the broader political climate. What plays well in one district or demographic may not resonate with another. The use of profanity in American politics is nothing new. From the earliest days of the Republic, presidents and politicians have been known to employ salty language both in public and private. Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, was known for his fiery temper and his penchant for colorful language. His political rivals were often on the receiving end of his wrath, which he expressed in terms that would make a sailor blush. Harry Truman, the 33rd President, was another famously plain-spoken politician. Known for his give 'em hell style, Truman didn't shy away from using profanity even in public. His use of the phrase SOB to describe a critic is still remembered today. Lyndon B. Johnson, despite his efforts to present a more polished image, was also known to use profanity liberally in private. In more recent times, politicians like Dick Cheney and Joe Biden have also been known to use profanity, sometimes to great effect. Cheney's infamous "Go F*** yourself" outburst on the Senate floor in 2004, while shocking to some, only seemed to enhance his reputation among his supporters. Biden, known for his gaffes and off-the-cuff remarks, has also let slip the occasional curse word, often to the amusement of the public. These examples demonstrate that the use of profanity in American politics is not a new phenomenon. It's a tradition that spans generations and political parties, reflecting the ever-evolving norms of language and the changing nature of political discourse. The increasing use of profanity in politics is undoubtedly linked to broader cultural shifts. What was once considered taboo is now commonplace in movies, television shows, and music. The internet and social media have further blurred the lines between public and private speech, making it more acceptable to use casual language in professional settings. This cultural shift has had a profound impact on politics. As younger generations, who are more accustomed to hearing and using profanity, come of age, they are less likely to be offended by it in a political context. In fact, they may even view it as a sign of authenticity and relatability. This trend is also playing out against the backdrop of the ongoing culture wars. As political discourse becomes increasingly polarized, both sides are resorting to more extreme language and tactics. The use of profanity, while not inherently partisan, can be seen as another tool in the arsenal of political combat. Whether this trend will continue is unclear. It's possible that as the use of profanity becomes more widespread, it will lose its shock value and become less effective as a political tool. Or, it could become so ingrained in our political discourse that it ceases to be noteworthy. Only time will tell how this trend will evolve and what impact it will have on the future of American politics.